Good morning. I hope you had a great weekend. One of our favorite shows was Downton Abbey, and there was a scene one time where the matriarch of the family was having a conversation with someone who was lower than her on the social ladder, and the woman said something about a weekend, and the matriarch asked, "What's a weekend?" Well, I think after we have been quarantined for a while and stayed in, the days all seem to run together. What's a weekend? We don't know. People tell me that this is what retirement is like, and if so, then we've got a pretty good idea about it. Hey, I wanted to show you something in our yard, if I can do that, and that is we have installed an invisible fence. We have a dog, a small dog, a Schnauzer, Maggie, who likes to run. She especially likes to run after rabbits. We live also on a busy street, but whenever she gets that scent of a rabbit, she does not stop. She just keeps going, and there's nothing that can get her back. So we were pretty concerned about her safety. So we put in a fence. We did so also with a little modification. Not only does the fence keep her in, but we had something added to it to keep people out. We did that because we felt like that people were acting in pretty strange and dangerous ways, and we needed to be protected. We wanted to be safe. So not only can our dog not go out, but people can't come in. If they do, they get zapped. Now, the reason behind this is simple. I went to the grocery store last week, and I will have to say they had done some really good measures. They had made the aisles one way so that you had to go one way and then go down another way to prevent bottlenecking. They were also announcing over the loudspeaker that we needed to keep in mind social distancing and stay certain distance apart. Do you think that was helping any? No. People were going up and down the direction, whatever direction they wanted to do. They were stopping right beside me or anybody else. They were ignoring everything. You know, I just couldn't wait to get out of there. I just felt unsafe. Not too long ago, I also made I placed an order for some essential things, or things that I thought were essential, at a store that I won't mention its name. It's located on 129. But I went over for the curbside pickup, and I noticed that they had a line marked so that they could monitor the number of people that come into the store, which I thought that's a great thing. They even had it marked off every 6 feet or something, so that where people could stand. But do you think people were standing 6 feet apart? No. They were packed in that line like it was the last funnel cake at Dollywood. I mean, they were trying, pushing and shoving to get in. They were ready. And I just thought, would you just bring my order out and put it in the car? I want to get home. I don't like it here. We've taken advantage of some curbside dining opportunities, and sometimes they have felt pretty safe. One time we went to a place and the person came out wearing gloves and a mask and carrying a tray, and our food was in a bag on the end of that tray, and they handed it to me through the window. That was the best. But I've also gone to some places where the person came out, no mask, no gloves, and I get the food and I'm thinking, you know, if they're not being safe on the outside, what's going on the inside of that building where I can't see? It almost makes me afraid to even take the food and to eat it. So there are some things that people are doing out there that just don't make me feel safe. And so I want to be at home. I want to be here where I can sort of protect myself, so to speak, and feel safe. I know that our president has been working on a lot of different ways to sort of curb this virus or to cure this virus, and he's put those out there. But I'm going to tweet him this week and tell him about my idea of the invisible fence, that if the government would just send a check to everybody in the country that would pay for them to have an invisible fence installed at their house that would keep people away from them, I tell you, this thing would be knocked out in no time at all. Well, on a serious side, what is it that makes you feel safe these days? It's not hiding inside, and it's not an invisible fence. What is it that makes us feel safe? Well, we want to be around people who are also safe. But even I think beyond that and believe beyond that is that we have a God that we put our trust in, who really does make us safe at our heart. Because even in unsafe conditions, we are able to have a level of contentment and to have a level of peace. There are two passages of Scripture I want to share with you this morning. One of them is from Psalm chapter 46. You'll recognize this one, I'm sure, at least the beginning of it. It says, "God is our refuge and our strength. He is an ever-present help in times of trouble. Therefore we will not fear. Though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, the waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy place where the Most High lives. God is within her. She will not fall. God will help her at the break of day, because the Lord Almighty is with us, and the God of Jacob is our fortress." I love that passage, because in times whenever I feel unsafe and insecure, no matter what the circumstances, is that there is a God who is truly my refuge. There's another passage that comes out of Psalm chapter 20. The background on this is that Israel was being attacked, and so they were putting their trust in forming some alliances with some other governments that would help them to fight off the enemy. And so the prophet comes, and this time the psalmist comes and says this: "Some will trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of our God. We trust in the name of the Lord our God. Because they put their trust in him, he answered their prayer." Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord. I don't really put my trust in an invisible fence. I don't put it in chariots. I don't put it in swords. I put it in a God who is our refuge and our strength. And may you find that kind of peace and security and safety today. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you again on Friday.